Very excited to have my next guest join us. He's a very talented singer and songwriter whose debut album comes out July 26th. It's called Hi, My Name is Insecure. It is Sam Tompkins. Sam,
Hey,
hello, hello.
hello. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling excited to be here. Thank you for
I'm
having me.
so stoked for you to be here. We were just chatting before this about you just lounging on your bed, and it just looks so
Yeah,
comfy. I'm quite envious of you.
bless you. Yeah, yeah. I had a long day of exercise, so I'm just resting my legs because I couldn't think of anything worse than sitting in a chair right now.
Are you an athletic person? Do you participate in
Um,
sports a lot?
do you know what I think before COVID, I would go to the gym a lot, and I was in good shape. And I think when COVID hit, I was like not. I guess I became complacent, and honestly, it lasted maybe 3 or 4 years. And I'd try and get into the gym and whatever. But this year, I made a deal with myself that I was gonna be more proactive. I was gonna cook a lot more for myself, and I was gonna try and head to the gym and just to look after my mental health more than anything, and like look after how I feel about myself.
That's good. That's you carried it on because a lot of people might have initiated a lot of those goals early on in the pandemic and then dropped it as soon as life somewhat became normal.
Yeah, exactly. I think actually a lot of people that I know always say like I was the most fit that I've ever been in COVID, and no one actually saw it. By the time it was finished, they're like, nah, I'm just gonna go back to eating about
Right?
what.
It was all those photos of I'm making bread today. Oh, look at
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
Homemade noodles. I was making homemade pasta from scratch.
Man, everyone was, because also it was like the boom of TikTok, right? And TikTok made it was like when TikTok came about, for at least for me, it was like everything that everyone had always said YouTube was like, with the cooking videos, with the this is how you make this, and oh, did you know this? Like, what's that cool thing in your house? All of these things. And yeah, it was literally COVID for me was just scrolling endlessly on TikTok and finding out loads of cool ways to do things that I was never actually going to act in real life. But you know,
So what you're saying is that you learned the Savage dance from Megan Thee Stallion. You did the Super Lonely dance. You did.
maybe I don't know. I don't know. Perhaps yeah, the dancing videos definitely they didn't fly by me because I've definitely seen them. I've seen every single one of those ones. But
You couldn't avoid it.
I
You can't fool
definitely
me.
didn't. I actually didn't try them because I just don't think yeah, even at home in my on my own where no one could possibly see me or find me, I was still too embarrassed to do
Are
that.
you
Just to
serious?
I couldn't look at myself in the mirror and do that. Just because I know, not because it was a bad thing, but because I would be so bad at it. I would literally be so bad at it. I can't move.
Funny you bring up TikTok because that obviously helped your career and notoriety and profile and whatnot because one of your songs went viral on there. We're a few years removed from that. How are you grasping with the attention and people still referencing that song?
I mean, the cool thing about that is that it wasn't planned for me. So when it happened, it was just a bonus, and I was just really enjoying. I enjoyed that people found me through that. And as time's gone on, um, I've definitely used it as a source of uh, motivation to like get that thing again. And I think I've done it in little ways since, and my following has grown so much in that time, and I've grown so close to the following that I have.
I mean, I feel like I know you after listening to this album and your music
Bless you.
up until this point. So
Thank
hats off to you for that, especially with the topics of love and relationships and things like thank God you talked to me. Like I think we've all felt that at one point or another in our lives. Was that just a fast song to write?
Yeah, it was extremely fast. I remember I'd met my partner Lily, and I was just so hyped off this love that I was feeling, and this excitement. And that song is all about being too scared to say anything when I first met her, and her actually coming over to me and making that first move. And yeah, I look back at that now, and I'm just so grateful that, and this is another point. It's like I don't write diary entries. Well, I didn't at the time. I do a little bit now these days, but at the time I don't. But that was my diary entry. You know, that's exactly how that night happened. And like if she was here, she would say like, yeah, he's scared to come up to me, and I had to do it. You know, and like one day, you know, if I hope that we stay together, and when we have kids and stuff, like they'll be able to listen to that, and they'll be like, wow, that's like how you met my mum. That's really cool, you know. So I
No,
don't
I
know.
love it. I love it. I love it. I mean, I actually took notes on some of the lyrics of, because they're new songs and things. That night I looked, that I hope I get it right
Yeah.
because I don't think it's printed out anywhere.
It's that
That night that I looked at you, I felt I could fly, but I could fall at any moment. Like that hits hard.
yeah, I honestly I think that's my favorite bit of writing from the album. And it's true, like all of those feelings are so true, and there's such a snapshot of that exact feeling I was feeling at that time. And the verse is like the first verse, I say something like, I remember when I saw you for the very first time, you were with some friends. I remember thinking then one day they'll be mine. And if Vincent was to draw you, even he wouldn't get it right. Vincent being Vincent van Gogh. Um, and the reason a lifetime he could spend, sorry, the next bit is a lifetime he could spend, but there just ain't a pen that could capture your eyes. No surprise. And like the reason like, for instance, I really resonate with Vincent van Gogh's story, and I actually love the song by Don McLean called Vincent Starry Starry Night. I think that's my favorite song ever written, and it was a really nice way of tying that in because there's a lovely lyric in Vincent where he talks about Vincent's eyes being of china blue, and my girlfriend's eyes are blue. So I it all sort of, and then that was like the first thing I saw in her, like was her eyes when she looked at me. I was like, oh my goodness, like you have the most blue eyes. And I just love that song, and I love what it means, and I love the idea that one day I could present that to my kids, or you know, whoever, and be like, this is how I met my partner, my life partner, and you know, it's awesome.
That's awesome. You also have another song on there called Almost Killed Me, which
Yeah.
is somewhat of the same vein.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, almost kill me is almost like the opposite. It's like it's like it's like accepting that love can be destructive, but you know,
Yeah, it's a total opposite.
but that's why you do it. You know, love it, like love is a spectrum, and sometimes you can be in it and you can fall out of it. Um, and I think that's the thing with this album is like it's a journey. It's not from once. Like I feel like when you write your first album, you're drawing from all of your experiences you've ever experienced, and like that means that when you listen to it, you know, sometimes the songs are going to be really lovey-dovey, but they're also going to be about heartbreak because you've been conceptualizing that your whole life. At least I have as an artist. I've been thinking about what I want to put, what concepts I want on the album. But on my next one, if I ever get to do that, it'll be a very much more of a snapshot of where I am right in right in that point, you know.
How has the notoriety and pressures changed how you made the music on the album? Because now there are expectations and you have some guidance with those comments and with some of the feedback that you got.
Yeah, I mean, as time's gone on, like the community has widened, and with that, so have I guess opinions, and there's a lot of divides in the world right now, you know, in different places and in different ways, you know. Um, just here in the UK as well, you know, we've just had the election, and you guys are, I think, due for one soon, and there's so much going on over there. I think that comes with I feel like for me, one thing that we can all agree on is that music can it helps us, you know, and is like the soundtrack to all of that. I've definitely gonna try to be a bit more universal in the feelings on this album and uh not be so niche with everything. And that's like not a bad thing. I've just tried to, I've at least attempted to create what I feel other people are feeling as well as I. And that comes from chatting to friends, chatting to my supporters, and I guess it's not been a conscious decision to appeal to every single one because you never will, but I think music can be universal, and as long as you put your heart and soul into it, people will connect with it, I think, if they give it a chance.
I'm so happy for you, man. This album is gonna do wonders for you. I know it. It's gonna totally elevate your profile once more. More TikTok people. You better brace yourself for the dancing and
We'll
the
see.
attention and the kissing and the weddings.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I guess we'll see how it all pans out next week, see how people receive it. But yeah, thank you for having me, mate. Really, really appreciate it.